Hundreds of officers and years of work leading to a takedown of some of New York's most dangerous and youngest gang members. 3 different gangs involved, a crime spree involving dozens of shootings, at least 2 of them deadly. In fact, the operation that culminated with the early morning raids in Harlem began with the murder of an 18-year-old high school basketball star back in 2011.
The toll has been extraordinarily high on that community. Numerous men and women have been shot and lost their lives to gun violence in West Harlem during the period charged in this indictment.
More than 100 people have been indicted in what's now being called one of the biggest gang busts of its kind the city's ever seen. Lisa Evers live in Harlem with more on how it unfolded and what's perhaps the most surprising aspect of all these arrests. Lisa.
Love you, Lisa Evers.
Well, Steve, one of the most shocking things about this case is that the youngest suspect is just 10 years old, accused of carrying a loaded gun. Many are in their teens, and police tell us they were all members of 3 gangs who terrorized residents here like some kind of evil game. We were on the streets as this alleged member of the 3 Stacks gang shouted curse words and Happy Stacks Day while being taken into custody. Police tell us the gang ran wild in the Grant housing development in Harlem and was responsible for murders and shootings that made everyday life a nightmare for residents.
Unfortunately, some areas of our city are still experiencing levels of violence that should not be tolerated and will not be tolerated. So we are going to continue to fulfill that commitment to fight for every area of the city, and that includes the housing developments.
Several blocks away in the Manhattanville houses on West 126th Street, police busted up their rivals, the Make It Happen Boys and Money Avenue gang, and were able to apprehend the majority of the 103 wanted suspects. This new type of gang warfare redefines the word senseless, says Inspector Kevin Catalina, head of the NYPD's gang unit.
It could be over perceived slight. Some of it's not driven by anything at all. A lot of it is driven through social media. They tend to like to brag about their exploits. So it's very hard to understand. It's not about making money.
This massive takedown was one of the largest in NYPD history, involving nearly 500 officers. Police worked with the Manhattan DA's investigators for more than 2 years, analyzing a staggering amount of intelligence. More than 40,000 phone calls from jails and prisons, hundreds of hours of surveillance videos, and more than 1 million social media pages.
Make no mistake about it, the motivation here oftentimes is not about drugs. It's just violence for violence sake, that feuds over nothing.
Now, the Manhattan DA says that all of the suspects are facing gang conspiracy charges that could keep them behind bars for years, and police are vowing that anyone who tries to take their place will face a similar fate.